everybody. I'm just playing around with my little frame drum here, having some fun. Today we are talking to Duff Mcdonald, author of Tickled. I'm tickled pink to have him as my guest today. Tell me in the comments what tickles you. Hi, Allie. Yeah, this is going to be a really fun conversation. And in Duff's book, he also has a chapter titled Infinite Kombucha. Because kombucha is one of those things that tickles him. Does kombucha tickle you? If kombucha tickles you, drop a heart. Let's see your heart. Let's see your love. Let's see your joy. Hey everybody, happy Monday. Monday is a fun day when we're hanging here on Instagram. I'm trying to wave to everybody here. So hey everybody, thanks so much for joining us. Drop us a hello, drop us a heart. We want to hear from you. We want to see you too. Hi Whitney. Oh my gosh, here we go. Let's see. Can I press this? All right, well. Oh yay, 100s. I love it. Happy Monday. It's a fun day. It's a day when we start our week. Our guest today is Duff Mcdonald. He's an author. He wrote this really amazing book, Tickled, but he didn't think he was going to write. So I am tickled to have him on here today. And one of the things that tickles Duff Mcdonald is making kombucha, which is something that tickles all of us. Hi, I love you too. Oh my gosh, thank you for being here, Nara. Alimentos. Me da cosquillas. Me da cosquillas. ¿Qué te da cosquillas? So like me da cosquillas is how you say tickled in Spanish. And it's like you give me this feeling of cosquillas. Me da cosquillas. Hello, kombucha. Hola, bienvenidos. Hoy hablamos de que nos da cosquillas. Porque vivir en el presente es como vivimos. El pasado ya se pasó. El futuro ya no acabó de llegar. Yay, I love your energy too, Kombucha Shack. Woo! Kombucha power. Bacteria power. Hey. We got to get the week off to the right start. And we do that by being tickled by all we have to do. Yes, there are things we have to do that may not feel so ticklish and fun. However, when we allow ourselves to come back to the present moment, we then have a choice. We have a choice that we can move forward thinking about something else. We can move forward with a different thought than what in our mind we imagine has already happened. We have full control when we're in the present moment. The gift of being present is the gift itself. I have no idea what words will flow next, and that is a gift itself. So think about things that tickle you, because we're going to want to hear what tickles you in the comments. Is it a new flavor of kombucha that you've been working on? Is it an event you're going to be doing? Is it just the people in your life who you love so much? So, oh my gosh, here's Duff. Duff enough. Duff stuff. We're doing the Duff stuff. Hello and welcome to Mama Monday too. It is August. It's August. Woo! Lavender mint kombucha. That sounds so good. It sounds really relaxing. I love lavender and mint. So good. Sauerkraut. Yes, yum. Tickles my nose. Tastes delicious. Hey, Duff. All you need to do is click the join and I will get you on here, my friend. Request to join. I think it's a little button at the bottom there. It looks like a little camera with a plus sign in it, and it's right next to the add a comment. Playing my drum tickles me. Me da cosquillas. Me da energía, me da alegría. This is going to be a really great combo. Duff's book is so fascinating, and he tells such a interesting story about his own personal transformation. Cacao. And just really, I can't wait for him to share his story with us. Yay, hi Kombu Health. Let's see, I have no request to join. So it's the little button at the bottom of the screen. It looks like a plus sign with the camera. Oh, you have to be on your phone, so make sure you're not on your computer. Kombucha, kombucha me da cosquillas. It tickles my nose with its fizz. It tickles my tongue with its fizz. It tickles my. Great, you're on the phone. If you see at the bottom of the screen, it says add comment. Oh, yep, here we go.
Yay!
Hey.
Did it! Hi, Duff.
Sorry that took a second. I'm a little computer illiterate, but here we are. I've been dressed up for the show.
Whoa.
Wore a fancy shirt.
I love it. It's got all the ruffles.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a texture person, so I just want to like rub on it.
How's it going?
I'm great. How are you? So glad to have you here today. I'm just pumping up the volume here so I can hear you a little bit better, but we are so excited to have you here, Duff. So hey, everybody, this is Duff Mcdonald. He's the author of Tickled and several other books. And because his bio is in the first person, I'm going to let him tell you a little bit more about who he is. But I was super thrilled when Duff reached out to me because there's a chapter in his book called Infinite Kombucha. And he happens to be a prolific kombucha brewer now that he's fallen in love with our lovely culture. So please, Duff, tell us who you are, where you're from, what you're doing.
So I am I live in upstate New York after 20 plus years in the city. And so I'm about 10 miles from Kingston, 10 miles from Woodstock, live here with my wife, Joey, 3 cats, and I think at last count 14 chickens. And most of my career was spent, I was a business journalist and author, did a lot of feature journalism, but then switched to book writing in the last 15 years or so. And but my books were also business. They were histories of business institutions and stuff like that. And then in early quarantine, while I was preparing to write a different book, somewhere in April of 2020, all I can say is my brain kind of exploded in a good way. And I ended up writing Tickled in about 6 weeks. And it was, looking back at it, a lot of it was sort of coming at me full steam. So it was difficult to know quite what was happening to me. It was all good, but it was a little hard to sort of wrap my head around. Looking back, it was, I had somehow stumbled into a state of presence and, without sort of explicitly looking for it. And the view from there was so wonderful that, I wrote the book about it. And basically the title, Tickled, refers to the fact that, from what I could tell, if you are firmly present, what you are feeling or what you should be feeling is the tickle of your own existence, because you're not distracted out of that place by a lack of presence. So when you stop distracting yourself out of it, you should feel the glory of your own existence. And basically the book was my attempt to sort of get that whole feeling down.
Well, you did a tremendous job in the book. It was so fascinating. I happened to listen to it on audiobook, and it just, while I was driving, which I love to do, and it was, there's a part in the book where you talk about like being in the flow, where things just, information just all starts to feed whatever this thing is that you're exploring or that you're in rhythm with. And your book was right in flow with things that were happening in my life, and it felt really good to have this different perspective. And the story that you tell, your own transformation, You talk about the precision paradox, and I thought that was really fascinating, especially the way in which sort of the news and different things about the pandemic were addressed. And I don't want to make it all about that, but that clearly was something that triggered within you a thought process. So share a little bit about the precision paradox.
So I was actually going to write a book called The Precision Paradox, and ended up, when I wrote Tickled, I was like, I'm still going to talk about it, but it's just not going to be my main point. As a business writer in particular, but I think just more generally as our culture, a lot of my life had, I had used quantification to try to get a feel for certainty, right? So when we talk about the market is up or down this many points, or the economy grew by this percent, or you have this many followers on Instagram, what numbers do, because they are so precise, right? A number isn't anything but itself, right? So you can't write a poem about the number 20, right? Because it's just 20. It's not a rose. So when and the argument that I wanted to make, and COVID sort of, the experience of COVID made it very clear, is that when we are at a loss for what to do, or we are thrown by uncertainty, we reach for quantification in the hopes that it will deliver meaning, right? So COVID's a great example. We don't need to make it about COVID, but like for a lot of the pandemic, you open the paper, or open your internet browser, and you're looking at the number of people who died the day before, the number of people who tested positive in some area or not, positivity ratios. All these things we're trying to quantify what is happening to us. And one of the revelations I had during early quarantine, and this is again from a state of presence, is you cannot quantify now. It's too big, right? Because it contains everything. So when we count, we're either counting the past or the future, or a theoretical future. And when you spin yourself out of what's happening to you, using, going in and out of thoughts about the past or the future, you can't be present. And it makes it very difficult to face uncertainty. And, COVID was terrifying for most of us, at least at some point. And because we were at a loss for what to do, we started counting it. And the point I make in Tickled is that somewhere along the way, counting and quantification can be good, right? If you're having some people over for dinner, how many people are coming over for dinner? We need to set the table. But when we try to understand ourselves using quantification, whether it's in aggregate or individual, somewhere along the way, you lose connection with meaning, right? So when if you were weighing yourself to try to track your health, you don't need to know to 2 decimal points how many pounds you weigh, right? What you want to know is am I feeling healthy? Do I need to gain or lose or gain some weight? When we go too deep into precision, we end up sort of lost in the count and disconnected from the meaning. So I was going to write that book. And when COVID hit, I was like, oh my God, this is my thesis right out in front of me. But as I started to sort of get into it, it occurred to me, I was like, you know what? I don't want to tell other people how to think. And that's what a lot of our quantification does, right? People will cite numbers when they're telling you why you should think a certain way. And I realized that even though, I believed that, like me, a lot of people are sort of drowning in numbers, that I would sort of shift gears and write a book about how I was feeling rather than what I thought you might be thinking. So I sort of pulled back, and for the first time in my career wrote something. It was basically memoir, but it was also getting to meaning by looking within rather than looking outward and starting from a point of this is wrong. I finally realized, the way to do this is to look inward and to focus on what is right.